Okay, so I have 2.5 or maybe 2.1 tattoos, and one of them is a wave on my upper arm. And I got this tattoo, or all of my tattoos, when I was 18. And I always wanted like a tribal tattoo where I just got like the band around my arm. And people always said to me, like, you're going to regret tribal tattoos with no meaning. So instead, I made it a wave. And I told myself that this wave would change with meaning over time. And I actually grew into this tattoo. And I feel like the meaning I have now is the forever meaning, but I actually don't know. So maybe we'll see. Anyways, hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of the Mini Amira Show. This podcast is all about short episodes about emotions and life philosophy and spirituality and so much more. Today, I'm meshing the idea of emotions and life philosophy, so you'll start to get where that life philosophy idea comes into this. I'm your host, Amira Sookram, and I am the author of the Guilt-Free Goals book, and I'm also a feelings-based living coach and yoga teacher. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about emotional waves. If you are into the spirituality world, you may have heard of this idea called human design. Human design takes a bunch of different disciplines in spirituality and meshes them all together to give you a body graph of kind of who you are and your life purpose. And also, I'm so sorry to everyone who actually studies human design, and this is a horrible description of it. I'm so sorry. In human design, the idea is that 50% of the population are emotional people, which means that anytime they have to make a decision, they are on something called an emotional wave. Obviously, for quick decisions, this may not be something that happens, but for anything emotional, and for emotional people, everything is almost emotional. For emotional people, we are riding this wave up and down. At the highs of your wave, you feel this elation, you're happy, you have energy, you want to put work towards your projects, and it just feels great. But after you hit your high, you come down into a low. And in this low, we have low energy. We feel bad about ourselves. We lose confidence. We feel very sad. There's just so many different emotions that come up in the lows of our wave. So we go from this high to a low. And after our low, we go back to a high. And after our high, we go back to a low. And all throughout life, we are on this wave going up and down. And Sam Ovens, the owner of consulting.com, also taught me that life is a sine wave. We are always going from ups to downs and downs to ups. So, part of my life philosophy and something that helps me make it through my emotions is understanding this concept that we will never always be in an up. We will never always be at the height of our wave. We will also never always be at the low of our wave. We have to go through life by moving through these waves, ups and downs. That is just how life works. And as somebody who has gotten to observe so many people in my life, I'd say that almost every emotional person I know goes through this feeling. And even people I know who aren't as emotional experience this in the idea of being well and working towards their projects. And then without rest, they get sick and they need to take time off. We all travel through these highs and lows in different ways in our life. When you have to make a decision, you're not just going to go with what you want at the height of your wave or at the low of your wave. You're going to allow yourself to ride your wave of emotion until you hit emotional clarity. That means that you're not like super excited about the idea that you're working on, and you're not feeling super self-conscious and shitty about. I just realized my podcast isn't explicit. I guess maybe I'll have to put a warning on this one, but you're not going to feel super like crappy about what you want to make your decision about. You're going to have to wait to find that middle ground. And when you find this middle ground, that's what we like to call emotional clarity, or simply clarity. So I'll give you an example. As somebody who is an anxious attachment style, I typically am the emotional one in relationships. When you're an anxious attachment style, you have a lot of needs that might go unmet by an avoidant partner. And in doing so, you kind of learn to suppress your needs. And as you suppress your needs, you do this thing called protest behavior. So you will want to break up with your partner or want to like retaliate against them not meeting your needs because they're not showing up for you in the way that you want them to. And as you start to use this protest behavior, we enter this cycle of I'm done. I'm done. I'm going to break up with them. I'm going to be done and I'm done. And that's part of the emotional wave. And as we're in that low, we take that to heart and we say, "No, my decision is that I'm done with this relationship." And then our partner comes to us and they meet our needs. And in meeting our needs, we start to rise up to our emotional high. And in that emotional high, we're like, I love my partner. I'm back. Like, yeah, I'm never leaving. Like, this feels so good. And we go through that emotional up and down within our relationship. And something that I've learned being an anxious attachment style is not to react to my emotions right away. And we'll talk about what I call the sacred pause in another episode. But for right now, the idea is that you don't react to your emotions right away because you don't want to make decisions in the highs of your emotions and you don't want to make decisions in the lows of your emotions. You want to wait till you reach clarity. And you might be sitting there like, no, I have to make a decision. It's emotional. I need to do it right now. It is so simple to communicate to people that you need time to make a decision and you accept whatever their response is. Recently, I was even planning a trip with a friend and I said, hey, like, I can't make this decision today. I need more time. Give me till Wednesday. And if you need to book, go ahead and book. I don't want you to lose out on this opportunity because of me. And in doing so, I allowed them to make their decision and I allowed me to ride out my emotional waves. It didn't end up happening, but I'm glad they still booked their trip and I booked a different trip and we're actually going to the same place at different times. And it works out better for our schedules and we are able to make decisions for ourselves and our own lives and take responsibility for ourselves. A life pondering question I would like to leave you with today is, what decision in your life have you made and regretted because you made it at an emotional high or low? And then, because I love choose your own adventure questions, I'd also like to offer another side of this. Do you have any decisions right now where you need to wait out your emotional wave with? And how can you communicate that to other people in your life? How can you communicate, hey, I need time to make this decision. Give me until blank date and we'll talk about this again. I'm really curious what your thoughts are about emotional waves. Do you have them in your life? Are you aware of them? Do you understand when you're going through your low motivation periods? And do you trust that after a high comes a low and after a low comes a high? This is something that's really helped me in my life to have this life philosophy because now I have faith that everything is temporary and that everything is changing. And this emotion that I have today is not permanent and will not always be here. It's going to change, and I'm going to allow myself to change with it. Thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful for you. You can always check out more about me on my website, amirasukram.com, or follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Amira Sookram. If you're loving this show, please like, share, subscribe. Sharing the episodes does wonders for me and it helps other people in your life learn things that you are learning so that you can connect with them better. I am so grateful for you. See you next week. Bye.